Let's be honest. Your favorite concert and stay the fuck home. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do. Amy, what you gonna do?
Hello, Melissa. Hello. It's just a beautiful morning. I'm going to kill everyone.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah. So how are ya? So I'm going to focus on how are ya? When I'm running late, I find it odd that as a female, the first thing that I cut out is anything having to do with me. I cut out makeup. I cut out hair. I cut out, do you know what I mean? If it's a choice between there's no time to do what you need to do, how are we going to get there? All those things go out the window and I go totally not prepared looking in any kind of a way. And I hate that about myself because other people would go fucking late because they wouldn't walk out of the house like I do. So that was already out of the window. And then it came down to, okay, I'm so late. How many things can I cut out of here? And I thought, well, I've definitely got to take care of feeding the dog so he doesn't disrupt us. And short of that, and I definitely have to have coffee. So I can do those simultaneously. So in the process of doing those, I came running into the office. Kind of a rumpy, humpy, bumpy, not good, great, very bad Alexander day for me so far. And the funniest part is I've been looking forward to this sesh with you all fucking week. So to have this, stumble, fall, flat face into the glass is not really my favorite way to begin. So I'm going to start by saying, and there's somebody's computer dinging. I'm going to say, good morning, Melissa. Hi, how are you?
Well, I will tell you that I totally get it. When my husband's away, everything's a little bit off. I think for me, mentally, it's knowing that I'm responsible for everything, and that freaks me out a little. Because I think I've mentioned before, if it were just me, I would have a townhouse where someone else takes care of shit. Example number 76 this morning. Stuart left for work at 6:20 and the dog started to bark from 6:20 on. So
Right.
Yeah, I've been up since then. And then I get a text at 6:30 that says, hey, text me when you're up. Well, how the fuck could I be sleeping if you leave screaming dogs downstairs? So it turns out, for the third time in 3 months, one of our water filter leaker things leaked all over the floor downstairs.
No, I'm sorry. That's not acceptable.
Right.
What?
Yeah. So
Wait. What?
It's the new system. There's something wrong. And the guy who put it in a month ago or 3 weeks ago or whenever, he is coming back today. It's a Sunday morning and he's coming back today because we have a leak in one of the units.
What the fuck, floor man? Now what? Do you get to have thick and veiny dick tile come back?
No, it wasn't that bad, but it was still, luckily, leftovers from last night's dinner. Stuart brought them downstairs and had to go get them downstairs to go to work.
Otherwise it would have been a month.
Otherwise it would have been just me discovering it when I went downstairs to use the bike,
I didn't think it was in the exercise space. I thought it was in a place in the basement you didn't really go to. It's in the exercise.
It's one room over from the exercise space. So I would have seen it and I would have found it. But again, he's not home when shit goes sideways. And I understand that feeling of something. I'm up at 3 a.m. like, okay, what could go wrong? But my dogs wouldn't be snoring. They'd be like, let's go out at 3 a.m. And the day would start then. So.
Oh, the dog is so weirdly compliant. We only have one dog anymore. So our dog is so weirdly compliant with me. And he has one thing that he does that's super to irritate me purposefully. And then all of the other purposeful irritants he leaves for Brian because that's how he has Brian's number. So he'll wake him up too early to go to the bathroom. Whenever I'm alone with him, he sleeps until I'm ready to let him out. And I'm telling you, if I hadn't let him out yet, he wouldn't make a big fuss.
What a good boy.
He completely bends to my schedule. The bad part is I do feed him. I broke all the rules in that. I was a super stickler, didn't break any rules, yelled at everybody else for breaking all the rules. This dog was perfect. We had great training. And then I kind of broke one rule once and then I ran with it and I feed him from my business. Whatever I'm doing, he gets. So whenever I eat, he takes his paw and puts it on me and does like and I've gotten so mad at him for scraping me that he's actually learned how to beg nice. So he comes over and he takes his paw
Oh my God.
and just and he'll rest it on me very gently and then slide it to make sure that he doesn't scrape me with his nails. He'll just like pat slide. But he does it continuously throughout, and it makes me so fucking pissed. So now he won't do that. Now he comes along and does the thing where I'm working on the computer or the iPad, and he'll put his nose on the back of the screen and close it.
Oh, shit.
While I'm working on it. He comes up and he goes, dunk, dunk, and I'll have to keep, and I'll say, stop it. And it's like worst fucking Simpsons episode, because he'll go dunk, and I'll say, stop it. And I'll push it up, and he'll go dunk, stop it, dunk, stop it. On and on and on and on until I get up and go play ball or do whatever the thing is we have to do. But he will let me sleep. He does not wake me in the middle of the... But then again, he doesn't have compatriots. I imagine the dogs run your house.
They do.
Right?
There's nobody who's compliant. You said he's compliant.
Well, at this
I don't
point,
have anything like that.
You're on zone. I mean, you got 3-1. There's no chance for you.
Right.
Why did you set up? You got to get somebody out of the penalty box. What's the matter with you?
You got somebody into it. We just knew who needed help, and we took him in. And God help me, if some other dog needed a home, I'd have 4 dogs. If it came to me in a way, I mean, tons of them need homes, but if it came to me in a way, remember last week one came to my brother?
Yes.
I mean, if that happened, it's who we are. We would take in another dog.
You. No,
you would try.
I have tried, and I will succeed.
So this week, Apple came out with new phones.
Oh, fuck. Is that why? Okay.
So these new phones came out, and of course, this is actually something I wanted to talk to you about. I have 2 totally different children. One who needs, one like your middle, needs the new device before anyone else, before it's even out, before it's announced.
Right.
Oh, I have it. I'm a beta tester. He's been a beta tester for several things in his short life, and that gives him, I mean, such pride for...
Right. No actual advantage, but...
None whatsoever, but he's so proud of it. And my other child doesn't want to be seen as someone who has privilege.
Good luck.
So I said, you're in denial.
Tough shit, Mallory.
It's like, I mean, it's almost like your neon lights around you. It's not a matter of...
I respect it.
It's not a matter of
more.
you having wild privilege, which you do. It's what you do with it and how you act with it. That really is a judge of who you are and character. And so she has...
Well, I want to jump in there because there's so many kids with, and it is possible that there are people who actually have more than you.
Oh, yeah,
definitely. I've met them.
Yeah.
Just making a joke. But the difference is here, of this range of children who are individually richer than the majority of adults I've ever met in my life. Many, many, many of them. Friends, your kids, lots of, and on and up and down the scale, right? What is so laudable and something that is not lost on you, but just to reinforce it so that it's a continual reinforcement for her, just the action of awareness. That's the thing. She doesn't have to worry about what other people think or see, or, you know what I mean? That's the wrong way to go. So, but just the act of, I am aware that how I'm putting myself out in the world or what I have can be perceived in the world by others in a way that is damaging, right? That's fucking legit. And that's not, feel guilt for where you are and the luck and also the effort that got where you are. No, not in the slightest. And it's this, I don't think this relates, but it's the thing that pops into my head right now. Dolly Parton had this thing about once she was in an interview, talked about being poor. And the interviewer said, were you ashamed of being poor? And she said, no, I wasn't proud of it, but I wasn't ashamed of it. That's what I was.
Popeye,
I was poor.
I am what I am.
Yeah. It's not something to wave a flag about, and it's not a single thing to be ashamed of. And that is the difference. That awareness that your difference is going to create an outcome for other people. So that awareness that she has is so fucking spectacular, because there's also an awareness that your difference is going to create an outcome for you in the form of a brand new fucking phone. Right? And to be more focused on what the outcome is for the world around you and other people in a positive way, that's a big mark of maturity. And we should encourage it.
For my 16-year-old who said, I don't want a new phone because I don't want people to see 3 cameras on my
Right.
on my phone. I'm going to settle with the 1 because she doesn't even have the 2 from the last one because we haven't
Right.
gotten an upgrade in a while, which is fine. We didn't need it. Our phones work just fine. But her point was, I don't want to be seen as that kid. And I said, super. So at the time, I was waiting for the phones to come from FedEx.
Yeah.
The FedEx truck had to be to us by noon. And I couldn't be in the house because the kids were in school and the dogs, whatever, the dogs were put away in the basement and the house, we were cleaning the house. So I had to sit in the trunk of my car, in the hatch of my truck after
It's like a drug drop.
I'm telling you, for 2 hours after
Okay, that's just stupid.
riding on the bike.
Why can't you use your crazy camera system and, have the staff alert you when someone approaches the drive?
Okay.
I mean, surely there was a better way than
I'll take that
than
down
sitting-
piece by
sitting
piece.
in-
We don't
sitting in the open hatch of your. Well, first of all, were you inside the garage or in the actual driveway, sitting
in the
open flat?
garage in the
Yeah.
flatbed. But I'll tell you, we don't have a camera system or a staff, so that is why none of those things.
You
could
have a
take place.
camera system. Come on.
We don't.
Why? What's wrong with you?
I
I thought you turned off the camera system when people did something, or was that just at a vacation? You said, "Well, we cover it with a coffee
Oh yeah.
can."
So Stuart likes to view in Florida, in our Florida place. Stuart likes to
That's
view.
the Florida place has cameras.
he has
That's
the
why I'm
camera
thinking
down
you have
there.
cameras. Okay.
Watch the sunset.
All right.
Sad boy.
Still, okay. So you self-isolated in the garage.
waited
which is
there.
No fun for your whole house. Your garage is the least fun. Outside is more fun than in your garage.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not good.
It's
not good.
It's not great. So I sat there and I thought, fuck Apple, because if you do not get that if you don't meet the FedEx truck, they leave. And they do not leave you with, you have to sign for, they have to take a blood sample. I offered
Right,
them my
right.
firstborn, but they didn't want them. And then
Right.
you get your phone.
Right.
But we did the switch from AT&T to Verizon, found out where we live.
Oh.
Found out where we live has one bar and no service for Verizon. So we have switched back all in 48 hours.
Oh my god.
So Stuart's had a rough day and a half, and then the water system's leaking again, and I don't want a phone is coming from one room, and why can't I use the new phone is coming from
I don't
another
want
room.
$1,000 phone.
Yeah, so this year, that's our Hanukkah present to these kids.
Happy Hanukkah.
That's 8 crazy
Yeah.
nights right there. That's
Yeah.
all of them.
Well, very good for you. I wish we could get on that plan where it's Christmas because, the box arrived and we don't do the FedEx dance because it ships to Daddy's work.
Oh, okay.
So where there's always
Someone.
he has a work where they know the FedEx team at each shift by name. They do a lot of in and out shipping
Right.
because he's in a product based business. So so having deliveries there is like the most obvious thing in the world.
Yeah.
The hard part is the fulfillment of the delivery because it'll ship to Daddy and be placed on his desk where it will sit for several weeks until Daddy remembers to bring it fucking home. So we had the 4-day. Did you bring it home yet? Did you bring it?
Oh my God, 4 days.
Yeah, and my favorite part is the first one that he brought home. He's like, "Yeah, I forgot. Here it is. Hey, here it is. Yay!" And I held the box and said, "This is a very light box.
Doesn't feel like 5 phones in here.
This is not. Are you sure?" And he says, "It's from Apple." We open it, unboxing it. Apple this, Apple that, Apple,
The empty
and
box.
it's an empty Apple box. They want you to put the one in to send it back. And the poor kid's face when he got all the way down. And I'm like, first of all, if you can't pick up a box that's empty with no phone and be surprised there ain't no phone in it, did you think you got a Twixie phone? Like I would be starting to get anxious if this very, very super light, look at how light it is. It's a very light phone. Yeah, so nobody else cares about that stuff except for guess who?
Middle
And so-
child.
yeah, and so he's been leading the charge and almost as if he listens to the podcast, which he super don't.
Better not.
Started with I was going to say Halloween, with the Halloween gift list, with the Christmas. I'd like to start talking to you, Mom. When would be a good time for us to discuss? And I'm like, it's already a problem when start to position it that way. So he's got a whole plan that he's worked up.
When would be a good time? Never.
Meanwhile, I've already said, each of the children, I've spoken to them. I give them a chance to talk to them one-on-one, in case, just so that whatever the reaction is and they can not feel influence or pressure or whatever. Already got all the way around to the 9. He's not 9. He's always going to be 9. To the 9-year-old. He's 12. Got around to the 12-year-old and said to him, I think this might be the year where we don't exchange gifts with the family, meaning outside of our individual family,
right.
where we don't do that. What do you think? And we talked all the way through it, and he was kind of like, "Oh, okay." I mean, it was like a Mallory answer. It was like, I will miss the tradition, and he talked through the things that he would miss. But at the end of the day, your gift that you get from someone who only has an idea of you and sees you for 16 hours once a year,
right.
maybe not even all at the same time. And the gift is either something that I told them specifically down to the SKU to get you,
right.
or it's something that, any 12-year-old would like. It's just a gift for the sake of a gift. I mean, it's the traditions are the things that are going to be toughest to manage around. So we go from that extreme down to, is there a way that we could pool the economics of the situation? So
oh my God.
More?
Could you just Venmo me?
I made that up. Oh, trust me, if he could get that around his head, that's a good thing to do, that'd be the next suggestion. I'm making that stuff up, but he is very, he is thing oriented. He likes things. He wants things, gear and stocking up and collections and first of, best of, early adopter. That's his shtick, man. And I can't stand that shit.
I'm going to have mine talk to him about becoming a beta tester on all things.
Oh, trust me, please don't. Because I'm surprised he hasn't figured this out. Because in every other way, it's like, well, this is the exclusive, and I'm at the X Club, and I'm at the just sit down, clown. Ugh. Anyway, the things.
I like things too, but I like my things. And I was wondering the other day when a couple of friends had said, hey, I was wondering what the world would be like if we were all just honest with each other. You told me, you told me a few weeks ago that I can just say no without having to draft an excuse or.
Yeah.
And now I was wondering, all right, I've said no. What would it be like if you were just honest and you said, look, I am mentally weak, can't leave the house, or look, you shouldn't be wearing those pants, or look, I find you so brave.
Honest. None of those things are pure honesty. Tootsie Bear, because I was already thinking when you said this, haha, funny joke. And the truth is, you and I and everyone I know that I love and care about is honest anyway. The only thing you're talking about is the yes, eyeballs and squinty face.
You really think
everyone
that?
Listening, I know it.
Okay.
I don't think it.
How?
I absolutely, genuinely know it. We're honest people. There's not sly manipulator. I cannot be around those kind of people. I can't. I don't like doing this thing that I'm getting ready to do. They're toxic. They really are. I can't be in a room that is a shitball, too dark, crazy. It physically affects me to be around spaces and people that are no, honest. So the difference that you're talking about is, are you honest plus dick? Are you honest plus sarcasm? Are you honest plus painful but helpful? Are you honest plus selfish? Like there's all kinds of honesty.
Honest plus is the plan that you're selling?
I don't know. I don't know about this plan, but you're honest. You just don't always vocalize. You're not a big, maybe I'm a fool, but I don't see you as a big manipulator.
No, I don't mean, I'm not devious. I'm just saying when there's an opportunity to say, I don't know, I feel like in my life people ask me for advice or questions that I almost have to give them like enough thought. Look, we're not seeing our friends so much. Do I tell them completely honestly how I feel and what I think about their situation, and then not talk to them for another 6 months and wonder if it's because I was too honest? Or like I have friends who are in bad marriages or bad situations, and my answer is bad. I don't know. It's for me, it's simple. I can see I don't like your partner. I don't see this as successful, or I don't like your I don't know. There's just a way that I'm not honest in a situation where I say things like, because I see that this is where they are and I'm not available to be that count on partner when I tear this apart to pick it up and hold it in pieces. So
is it in response to the question, what do you think of my partner? Or is it in response to the question, would you pass the peas, please? I mean, there's a difference between when this comes up. I mean, if they're asking you for the painful truth, you can sidle into it, right? As opposed to, how can I be honest, which is, how can I advance what I know to be true that you can't see and aren't asking about? Those are two different kinds of honesty.
But don't you have conversations with girlfriends and they kind of complain a little about their husbands or
Yes.
or boyfriends or fiancés or whatever, and you're like,
I said that too quickly. Not frequently, but I have in the past.
I hope not sporadically. Yeah, so your first response would be like, yeah, that's because he's an asshole. Like, you just can't give that response. Or, oh, that sounds like a problem. Have you tried this? Is the only thing. So I am honest to a degree, but not if you wanted to know my real feelings. A, you'd be sorry. And B, I don't want to ruin a friendship. So I was just thinking what the world would be like if we were just honest with each other.
Awful.
I think so.
It would be awful. And I don't mean that I want more duplicitousness.
Yesterday was plain awful. You can say that again.
For me, it comes, I believe that people are honest all the time, but I also am looking for much more emphasis on kindness and civility and gentility.
And empowerment.
And politeness. I think that all of us have to find the way to be honest and share the uncomfortable truth. That's, for me, when honesty is important. When it's uncomfortable and nobody really wants to do it, to find a way to do it that is not a slap to anybody. And that goes as far as your husband is a giant tool, you're an actual alcoholic, you need to leave that job, you are a super racist, like whatever the thing is, all the things, right? How do you do it in such a way where it's not the honesty part where anytime that you're actually thinking about your feeling to how you feel bad about repressing the truth and maybe not being honest, it's because the stakes are really fucking high.
Yes.
So it's not over a trivial matter.
No.
And that's why it's good to be thinking about it. And I would say the higher the stakes, the more important it is to be honest.
Ouch.
Absolutely. Speak your voice. Speak the truth, even if your voice shakes, is a favorite line, which I can't even remember off the top of my head. I'm just trying to say, I've already lived through the painful honesty and the poorly done honesty, which is maybe why this is such a sticking point for me. I lost a lifelong friend because I thought, when I had the realization that she was struggling with addiction, and it sort of came to me after 19 plus years of knowing, I thought, oh, I've got to help her and tell her, because if I didn't know, I was just such an idiot, right? And I stumbled through this thing, and she was not in a space to hear from a very, very, very intimate and close friend something that felt really judgy. All this time that I was super enabling and also the hang around party gal, oblivious to her attempts to try to slow down her addiction. And she had active, obvious attempts that I was just oblivious to. I just roll with it. I don't really pay a lot of attention to how far or even how many steps along the dance toward these addiction people are, because I'm kind of okay with whatever you're doing. So I had this experience where I said it to her and I brought it up. It wasn't asked of me, and we have never spoken again. She was like, you are totally out of line. That's not right. That's not wrong. That's all these things, blah, 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 blah. And she dumped it all on me, as I well deserved. Went on to get clean, and I keep in contact through the larger circles, but yeah, never, 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 never again. So even when asked, I think it's important to find a way to say, here's what I think, without saying, yep, you're an alcoholic.
You're right.
And I'll take you to a meeting right now. Let's go. Let's stop. So I'll be in charge of your marriage that sucks. And he's a dick.
I think
so
let's
move out.
I think part of that is you have your own life. So yes, you could drop that truth bomb, but you're really just walking away after you drop it. It's not like you're dropping it and supporting that, unless you're in college and they are your roommate and it is a codependence. You can't do that. So I think we've all discovered here today the answer is don't be honest. Don't lie, but definitely if you are going to drop a bomb and walk away, that is not helping anyone. So, dear listener, what would your life be like? What would your life be like if you were honest with the people in your life? I am curious to hear what you have to say. I also this week discovered that I desperately miss live music.
I just took you till this week, did it?
I mean, I know I've missed it, and I've been listening to albums instead of songs. Instead of doing mixed things, I've been listening to full albums to kind of marinate in an artist and feel that live music thing again, like I used to do in college when I would put 5 discs in and let them all play through, and they were all the same artist, and it was great. Those were the days. So I'm curious from you, what was your favorite concert, your favorite live musical experience?
That's one of those. What's your favorite word? What's your favorite color?
Fuck.
What's your favorite
Blue.
What's your favorite food? I love them all equally.
Cookies.
Because they're all my sparkly children. There's no chance. And part of it is I was just going to try and break it down. I love them all for so many different. Each one has such a special memory. I take them as a giant category that cannot be removed or replaced. And live music is on my mind for 2 reasons this week. First is, like you, it rekindled this love of how important music is in our lives. We've got a super extended friend who is struggling with the neurological deficiency right now, had a massive accident in the hospital, struggling. And they've been playing music and playing very familiar music. And what they're learning is the music that they play and choose can sometimes be too overwhelming because of the emotional component. So, for example, they can play Miles Davis. They can play jazz, and he'll make the hand motions and he'll follow along, and they'll ask him questions and he'll blink his eyes, and this sort, it's like, is this person playing? And they'll know it's the wrong question, and he'll nod no. They'll know that sort of thing. And then they played, Iggy Pop, Lust for Life, and his monitors went crazy. Like, it was just too much stimulation. So they had to turn that off. And now they're playing things that are familiar, that friends have written. And just the notion that someone who's not even conscious, on a ventilator, doesn't have full brain control, that we're all desperate and waiting for these hourly updates. Music is the thing that is making the fastest neurological connections. And I know that in my life, so I love seeing it.
They do that with Alzheimer's patients too. They can't remember, but you hit that one spot. You know it. You hear a song that's from your
it's
prom.
It's a muscle fucking memory.
Yes, that takes you back in such a cerebral, palpable, real way that you're just, yes, I'm in that spot again. And I have all of the emotions tied to that music from that experience. And it's so powerful. Give me
overwhelmingly powerful in a very loving way, and sending out the best and highest prayer. And come on, Andy, keep on pulling. The other reason that it was important to me is kind of funny because it ties into this honest thing. So after that experience, I turned off whatever was on the TV because it wasn't feeding my soul anyway. And I put on the music channel, any of the music channels, the channels that just play, right? And would switch back and forth from them. And it lifts the whole space. It changes the energy in the house. It makes me not kill everybody who's here.
Ooh,
and
mental note.
Yes, it's the thing to do. And I just need to remind myself to do more of it.
Dear Fugazi children, put on music. Let me write that down.
But the funny piece is, when I was in the market, I was in the produce section, and in walks this dude, and he was singing in the produce section. And I heard the singing, and the first thought that I had was, and these were within a nanosecond of each other. The first thought that I had was, God, I miss people singing in the world. And where's your fucking mask?
He wasn't
tool?
wearing a mask?
No! Singing in the produce section with that. And I looked at him, like, before I realized, I'm not the kind of person to look at people, right? Like that. So I looked at him, and then I looked away because I'm like, I'm going to get killed. So I just sort of looked over and then looked away real quick, and then walked to it because I was like, well, I don't want to be in this space. First of all, it's not more important to me to shame him. I don't want to be around his fucking COVID drops or whatever.
Order of importance.
Are.
Live.
Shame
others.
Right. Aerosols. Right. But he was singing this little tune, and it was, and it really stuck in my head. in this frustrating way because here's someone who has joy. God, what's that like?
Right.
Here's someone who's singing. Oh, I miss that. Here's someone who's going about his day in a way that in any way feels normal.
Spreading COVID.
And I mean, we're the only two in there. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. If you're fucking alone, don't do that shit. I'm scared to sing in my car, it feels like, anymore, only because I haven't sung in so long. Seeing it happen. So that's why it was sort of this reminder of, I need to do more singing. I need more music in my life. Put your fucking mask on. You know, and it was just such an uncomfortable, and it didn't help that he was kind of like country good looking. So the whole time I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this guy. And is it okay? And is he an example? Like, what is this? Is this the good example? Is this the bad example? And then sure enough, he was going every fucking where that I was going.
Oy.
Like, the route in the store took him to the next place is deli. And then we go to the fish section, which is all, this and that. And then down and down. And I'm like, fuck it, I got to change my route now. And then when I looked over the next time, he was not singing and had his mask on.
Okay.
So
Somebody yelled at him.
Or he just fucking wised up. Because when I saw him in deli, no. Because when I saw him in deli, he wasn't singing, but he had the mask in his pocket. And I at least thought, okay, I don't have to hate him because he brought the mask in.
No.
I don't.
You still have to hate him. Wear your mask. Do the right thing. I'm sorry.
Who doesn't put it on in the car before you come in the place?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So the whole I need music back made me start thinking about the Stone Balloon. Seeing the Guess Who there, seeing They Might Be Giants, seeing Little Feat, seeing like all of these.
I saw the Black Crowes at the Stone
Shut
Balloon.
up.
Yeah, that was a good show. That was a tight space for them to play, and they were rowdy. It was good.
Well, that's what I started to think about. The small spaces, the large ones. I mean, I've seen Elton John and Billy Joel with dueling pianos, like in enormous venues.
Yeah.
So what makes the concert...
I saw Alanis Morissette, which is a who cares, but it was in a really tight, small place.
Her.
I feel like it was at Revival. It was at like some really tiny... No, it was Theater of the Living Arts, really tight and small. And it's one of those things where she hopped down in the crowd and took a picture with the whole crowd. Anyway, yes, the venue makes a difference. The tightness, it's just, I love.
And sometimes with whom you go, sometimes your company in the concert makes it even better.
Right.
My first concert, I saw Billy Joel with an ex-boyfriend, and it was my very first concert, and he called me. It was so much fun. He called me the next morning. He goes, "You're listening to Billy Joel right now, aren't you?" I'm like, "I can't stop." He said, "It's first concert syndrome. It's in your blood now, and now you have a taste for it." And I think he was right.
Well, how did you used to do it when you would follow your favorite peeps? Did you, and they were dropping a new album, did you consciously not listen to the album so that you could associate the memory of the live performance with the first time you heard that song? Or did you devour the album so you knew all the stuff and could participate and sing along and be engaged?
Choice B. I opened up that cassette, the liner notes, even in the cassette tape. I unfolded that thing 100 times. I read it. I sang with them. All of them. But, Paul Simon is by far my favorite artist. And
well played.
And he's only had how many albums in my lifetime? But before
6 million.
Well, before that, before I was concert goer, he had 6 million albums, and I have seen him with everyone I love. His last concert that I saw with my kids.
Oh, wow. I thought you meant other musicians that he played with. That's so funny.
I mean yes, other musicians. I've seen him with Sting. I've seen him perform with other people, but I've brought to his concerts, people I love, and sharing that with them. I mean, my kids hear Paul Simon in my car all the time when they were little growing up. So to sit in a concert venue with pretty decent seats now, because we're grown-ups and we're overprivileged.
Right. Love and love and love. Can you think of some of these experiences
of course,
that were just rattle off some of the names, because I want to hear more about it.
So I used to date a boy who worked at an outdoor music fair over the summer. He was an EMT there, so he had tickets for everything. I didn't have seats, but I mean, I saw the most ridiculous people there. I saw the whole season's worth of.
Is this in New York or in Philly?
On Long Island. We went every weekend to see whoever was there. I didn't know some of them in the beginning, and I worshiped them afterwards.
That's what I'm saying. When you experience a fantastic song that you've never heard before and it's played live, there's nothing better than that. There's absolutely
Right, and
nothing
you're
better
singing
than that.
it by
from
the
someone
end.
you don't know. Yeah,
Right.
from someone you don't know. For you, that's the Broadway experience. For me, it's music, but more relatably. Yeah, because the song is so good that by the end of it, you're already in it.
Yeah, that's all the opening bands that I never knew. It just definitely
Right.
made me feel that way. But I even did living in Connecticut, which is void of culture. Sorry, guys. My friend Monica and I
Great
went
tacos, though. Yeah.
That is true. My friend Monica and I went to see Joe Cocker. And Joe Cocker was drunk and sweaty, but his voice was
Ding, 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 ding.
he never
ding,
spoke.
ding.
He didn't say a word. All he did was
Bum,
sing.
bum, bum.
And I left my hat on. He was just so fucking great. He was amazing. And Tina Turner, like some of these concerts, actually that was in Connecticut too. Damn. All right, maybe they have some. And Dave Matthews. It was music.
I love those marble mouth drunks. They're my favorite.
He was exceptionally great that night.
Ray LaMontagne. I saw him at a place here called the Cat's Cradle, which is kind of like a kind
Lesbian
of like
bar.
a divey, vibey. Yeah, it's one of it's like the Orange Peel in Asheville. It's just it's a college bar, but it's more of a music venue than anything else. It doesn't even really count as a bar. It's really just a tiny little venue. And I swear he was there with he was the lead act, but I went there to see the opening act, whose name I can't forget, but I can picture his face because he was touring. Anyway, I won't get into it. That was an amazing show because the opening act was a very big act who the lead singer of this group that was very big for a time was now touring solo and doing the whole show like stripped down acoustics. So it was like an odd kind of, you know how these
Fun.
people
Yeah,
in their second
love it.
act, they do these weird, so that was so intense. And Brian had never heard of any of these people before. So he was sort of like, oh, and for him my musical taste is kind of out there. I took him to a show once that the Blind Tiger down here in Greensboro. I took him to a show of Montreal. Do you know about Of Montreal?
No.
Well, neither do I. Do you know about Flaming Lips? Have you ever been to a
Yeah,
Flaming Lips
sure.
show? Okay, so Flaming Lips show, fantastic. You know how they're theatrical, is what
Offbeat,
we'll
quirky.
say.
Yeah.
They do a lot of prop gags
Right.
in their show. Well, Of Montreal is like a really bouncy, pop, groovy, alternative. It's just great music. And I would hear it on the radio all the time and see it. And I thought, oh, that'll be fun. And they were coming to town. So I thought, okay, I just bought tickets. It was like what are those people who get dressed up Furbies? What are the people who fuck each other in the weird costumes? What are they called?
Furries.
Furries. Every single performer and every single song had a different full body costume.
Oh my God.
Puppets, laser show, dancer. It was the strangest shit. And the music was fucking great. And so we're standing there with, do you think that's my crowd? So we're standing there watching this shit go down. And my husband is there. Do you think that's his crowd? So we're watching this thing and he's just videotaping it and smiling and, snapping his fingers and woo, wearing the Dockers. I mean, it was a fucking fantastic, fantastic show. And
Wearing
I loved
the
it.
Dockers.
And he loved it. It just cracks me up. It's like taking Stewart to, I don't know, like a ska
Same
concert.
thing. Yeah.
Some shit where it's like, what? How are you making this work? I love it.
I saw a special on Genesis on the Axe channel. You have that channel?
I'm
It has
sure I
just
do.
concerts all the
We have
time.
them all. Yeah.
So what I didn't realize was Genesis is one of Stuart's favorite bands. Look.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
look.
well played. No, well played. They're an origin band. I could talk for an hour about Genesis, and I'm not even a fan.
Well, I
Continue,
watched
please.
an hour and a half thing on them, and I didn't
It's
realize,
amazing.
like your Furby friends, Peter Gabriel was really a performance artist as much as a singer. Because if you see him now, he's just so
Right.
straight-laced and so hear that? So his album So I loved Peter Gabriel, but I don't think I knew Peter Gabriel, because if this is the real Peter Gabriel, where he's wearing more makeup than any of my 9 closest friends put together,
Right.
I just
on Halloween.
on Halloween. I had no idea. I learned so much, and I had more respect for Phil Collins after that too, because he didn't
I
give a
continue
shit.
to have a lot more respect for him the more I learn about him, because I'm always like, really, Sussudio, sit down. That was just like a sad pop chapter.
But that's like
So.
people telling me, "Oh, I really like Paul Simon. You can call me Al, and I want to
Oh, you
flush
can
them
go sit
down the
down."
toilet."
Yeah.
Right? That is the worst thing he's ever done in his life. Suck a dick. But like you said, I would kill for a B-side concert from
Yeah.
Sting, from Billy Joel. His B-sides are my A-sides. Like everything that he ever did is A-side to me. So somebody else's B-side. I just really, really, really miss the good stuff. I miss the music, the live music, let me tell you a story about this. And the only way you come close are singer-songwriter channels on Sirius, where Billy Joel will sit down and tell you this song came about because blah, 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 blah.
Well, there's a live music, whatever it's called. I'll have to locate it and put it in the show notes. One or more. Fuck off. One that everyone reads. That everyone reads.
Right.
One or more. One or more of the channels that we have is dedicated to playing recordings of live concerts, and they're everything from the giant stadium, the iconic concert of this or that or the other, or the 3-day festival. It just back to back. It just runs it. And so we're always on that, finding it. It's been a bit since we've been over there doing that. What I'm hearing us say, and this is helping me with this idea of the best concert you've ever been to, there's a difference between going to a concert and going to a show. A concert is whatever they play, whatever you've already encountered from them, they're just performing it in front of you. That's a concert. When you go to a show, that's when you're having an intimate, ungettable, one-on-one, never to be repeated, individual connection with these true artists who are performing and sharing something and taking something from you, with you. It's happening. That's the thing that makes the show for me so super memorable, that even when they do the same order of songs the next night, which many of them don't even do that, even if they were to repeat it exactly, it's never the same.
It's Bare Naked Ladies.
You can't step in the same river twice. It's just being there at that moment is so special. Why are you making that face?
I don't know. Your expression sometimes, like you said on the last podcast, and I was editing it and I played it 7 times. You can't put the candle under the bucket. Like, it's just some of the things you say sometimes.
These are normal things.
Are they?
Don't hide your candle. Don't hide your candle under. Don't hide your light. Put your candle under the bell, under the bucket.
Under the bucket.
You can't step in the same river twice. That's an old one. You don't even know that?
I never heard that before.
Why do you say you can't step in the same river twice?
Well, because the river's constantly moving, and it's a constant. I understand them. I just think that is something.
You can only get wet once. That's my other favorite, but that's less profound. That's just more like, wake up, stupid ass. Yeah.
Heads up, Meatball. Lights out, Meatball.
If you're going to do it.
I count on you.
Lights out, Meatball.
Love those.
Don't put your light under a bucket. Step in the river, and now you're wet once. Woo! Yeah.
It's just a lot for me. But yes, the Bare Naked Ladies never do the same concert twice. Jimmy Buffett's concerts are notorious, which I've seen 1,000 times, of never being the same twice.
Oh, I've never seen him, yeah.
Stuart said that too. I would love to take, and we always say next summer, because he tours in the summer. Next summer, we'll all go to a Buffett concert.
Sure. We'll go down on Captiva. Surely he does it from a barge there.
Must. I pre-gamed last night. We got Mexican for dinner from a local, not so local, a local Mexican restaurant. Authentic, amazing. And then they had, the family delivery boxes that they make for you, like tacos.
Sure.
The boys got fajitas. They split them.
Gringo box. Yeah.
And with the fajitas came 2 margaritas. And they put those in a quart container and sent like it was soup, sent it home like it was soup.
I like a quarter margarita.
Yeah, so we each had one, and last night I was dancing around the kitchen. I'm like, why am I in such a good mood today? I don't even understand.
Yeah, I need to crack open a lot more alcohols.
I couldn't believe
any.
Right, because because it's a depressant, because you think that this is going to bring me down further from the pit in which I am currently marinating.
The truth, that's absolutely in there. And it's also that my go-to is not alcohol. Take a look, kids. My go-to is food. And I'm already at the place where that it doesn't work. It hasn't worked. I just keep doing it. But the difference with the alcohol is I know it would elevate my mood. It 100% always does. Even though it acts like a physical sleepy time, a depressing act physically, it wakes me up. It energizes. It's wonderful. And the reason that I don't do it is because if I open a bottle of wine, I'll drink the entire bottle of wine. I don't want to be that girl. I've done that, and I'm not doing that again. If I make myself a mixed drink, it's 18 minutes. if I had 18 minutes to do something just for myself, I would rob a bank, or I'm not going to put that much effort into. Do you know what I mean? It's like 18 minutes.
I could rub one out twice.
So here's what I'm saying. What? Pervert. You're such a pervert. So here's what I'm saying. If the taco quart margarita truck would roll up to my house,
yes, please.
Problem solved.
It was so great. I was so surprised when he pulled it out. I'm like, we got soup? Oh, it's a margarita.
we got lady soup.
And then I said, yeah, we got soup, all right. That's how you do it. Oh, and I was wrong. Billy Joel wasn't my first concert. I was at that Simon and Garfunkel concert in Central Park in 1981.
I thought you were, because that one I listen to incessantly. I love it.
Because it's the best. Yeah. And I was like, what is that smell?
You'll know it.
Yeah, and now I know it.
It will become a big part of your life.
Who knew? Who knew? Okay. Do you have a closet like mine?
I'm sure I don't.
I have a friend. Stuart has a friend. Actually, it's the friend who gave you that candle that you lit before
I'm down
our
to
show.
I'm down to my little baby one. I burned all the way through the first one gloriously, and now I had to pull out the little baby one that I was saving secretly, but it'll be gone.
His friend drives by the area a couple of times a year, and he comes with a totally perfectly appropriate, amazing, small, thoughtful gift for us for either coming here or meeting us out.
So impressed.
Somebody raised him so right. I'm assuming he has a closet like I do. I have a closet that has gifts in it. We call it
I absolutely do not have a gift closet. Tell me. You've told me about this in fits and starts. I would love to.
Well, that's where the leak was.
Explore the gift closet for us.
Well, that's where the leak was. 2 leaks ago in our basement. Yes. I just heard my dogs bark, so maybe the guy's here to fix the 3rd leak in our basement.
The gift and memories closet. Yeah.
The gift
and P.S.
and memories.
P.S. Do you have to go? See
No, I made it my son's problem.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect.
Fuck you, entitled town.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm going to beta test you on figuring shit out in the basement.
Welcome, wealthy landowner. Now you can control the estate. Okay.
Wealthy landowner. So he came with this super great, amazing gift. And I thought, we are kindred spirits. Besides loving you for who you are, what you do, and everything about you, and what you think about and how thoughtful you are, I absolutely love that you two must have a closet that yields. Well, for 1 year, let me put it this way. 1 year, Eddie Bauer had a sale on these down mittens, and at the end of the mitten, there was an ice scraper. It's so cute, and I loved it, so I bought us one, and they then went on sale for almost nothing, and I bought 10 more. So they're like hostess gifts. I have another
that closet. Yeah,
I have a yay because who knows when there'll be a leak. I have another one that is a wine bottle cork, and at the top of the cork is a candelabra. So your wine bottle becomes a candelabra, which I fucking loved. So I bought a couple of those.
Very nice.
Right. So I have this closet, and I'm wondering, I don't really like asking this question.
Spit it.
Am I crazy?
No.
My mother had me tested. Am I crazy?
No.
I buy for not myself. Just in the future, if somebody invites us anywhere ever, I am prepared. So I don't have to run. Knowing me, I'm not going to want to go wherever I'm going. So I'm certainly not going to want to run to the store to buy something for where I don't want to go. And
it is incredibly thoughtful and frugal. And forward thinking to plan for known future events.
All things I've never been accused of.
See also podcast of last week or last million years. Christmas comes every year, guys. It's not a surprise. You're going to be invited to another thing. You're going to need a hostess gift. You're going to, someone's going to show up on your doorstep unexpectedly with a wrapped box of delight, and you're going to say, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I've been waiting to give this to you." And
that's
you're going
the
to run
reason.
into the wrapped closet
yes.
and say, "Ha ha ha, fucker! I hope I'm giving you something you want because I don't even know what's in this box."
That too has happened.
And then you give out like a garter to like a man standing there.
Stuart would say, "What's in the box?" I'm like, "Well, it's either," and I can list 3 things that were in that box shape, and he said, I think you might have a problem. Like, I think I think you might have a problem.
No, and my favorite, I just have to take a diversion. Gee, surprise. Okay, so the minor league baseball team here. There was a time when the agency where I worked, we were in charge of their creative, and they were, you know how they do all those things at the 7th inning stretch? They do shit that's not baseball to keep the crowd entertained.
Sure.
You know, the kids run the bases, the dog catches the ball, the whatever, the fucking, you know,
The
put
t-shirt
kids in
cannon.
sumo suits. Yeah. So one of their game ideas, I'm sorry, maybe it's not that funny, but I just, for the life of me, every time one of their game ideas.
Oh my God. Dear listener, I think we lost her.
One of their game ideas was, what's in the box?
Oh, feely mealy?
No, it's just a box. They would just drop a cardboard box. How stupid. I don't know why I think it's the stupidest, dumbest game. It's
Okay.
like saying, let's pick up rocks. I mean, it's just the dumbest. Can you come up with nothing else? Guess what's in this cardboard box? Why does anyone care? I'm sorry, what's in the box?
Wait, so it's not like feely mealy
No,
where you
that's-
stick your hand in and feel
that's
something?
the whole game. What's in the box? And then they open the box. Yay. We work a lot of late nights.
I find that really
advertising.
sad. I mean,
at that point, this is what I'm supposed to fucking market. I'm supposed to use this to get people.
Were they given choices?
No, I never got past what's in the box because we basically lost our shit rolling around on the floor in the conference room because we couldn't believe how stupid this crap is.
That's not
This
a
is back
good
when,
game.
Like Derek Jeter came through here. It's like ridiculous. But anyway,
Derek
I digress, Closet. I say keep it up. You're
Really?
like the Vogue Closet with shoes. Somebody's got to do it.
All right. So that Mary Jane, patent leather Mary Janes, they're real. Yeah. Okay.
And
So
they're spectacular.
and they're spectacular. All right. So keep it up is what you're saying. And dear listener, if you are a dear friend of mine and you wind up with either a hand mitten ice scraper or a candelabra for your bottles of wine, you're welcome. I've thought of you. I even thought of you 10 years ago when I bought them, wrapped them, and didn't know what they were when I gifted them to you. They're not a re-gift, which, by the way, I also support a re-gift. I mean, you don't need it, but you know somebody who does. That's
I've
a
come
nice...
all the way full circle on regift, and I think regift is totally lovely and appropriate and the ultimate kindness.
And
you are under no obligation to keep a gift that isn't serving you. And if you can give it to someone else who's going to enjoy it, that's twice the gift to you. Because receiving a gift, period, even if it's something that you don't want or need, someone is thoughtful enough to give you a thing. The act of giving you anything at all, even a compliment, is an act in itself. So that's the gift. And then if the, monkey-faced wood chipper that you never wanted anyway can go to the community center.
That's great. They can use it.
Right.
All right. I know we're running out of time, and I did put in my intro, stay the fuck home for the holidays. Dear listener, I really want to put this plug out. Please. I know it's different than it's ever been before. I know you want to be with the same people you've always been with. I know, and I'm sorry. And nobody knows better than I. I've never cooked for this holiday, and it seems that intentionally. And it seems that I'm going to have no fucking choice, but I guess I could cater. I'll do a little research. But it seems like it's the four of us again. We are home. Traditions are super important. We were talking last week about our children and carrying on China and what's important to us being important to them. And we've planted the seed. Oh, that's what it was. It was going to church. Well, you planted the seed and church doesn't look the same right now, but that's where we are. I'm wondering why it's so hard for people to accept that with church and not with family gatherings or friends gatherings. There's friends Thanksgivings going on. Or my girlfriend said her brother's having Thanksgiving this year and 26 people are coming. I really feel like that's irresponsible. I feel like you're being told from every important level of government, every intelligent level of science, not to do it. And I really feel like if you cannot do it with people who are already in your bubble or shut-ins, like I prefer to be, I think you shouldn't do it. And I may be losing one of our 11 dear listeners on this, but I'm sorry. I feel like I care about you more than you care about you. And I want you to be safe and I want you to live and I want you not to plick off grandma. You just have a few years left with her. Don't you want them to be healthy years where she knows it's you and you don't have to play music to a vent? That's it. Thanks for listening. And
we're in a tricky situation. No, I'm glad you're bringing this up. We're in a tricky situation ourselves. We've already made massive concessions around the holiday in order to make it work. As recently as 3 days ago, my husband looked at me and he said, he phrased it in such a strange way. It really, it made me stop and think. And I have thought about it a lot since then, probably changing my answer. And he's not home for me to even talk about it. So, and the way he phrased it was, are we being selfish traveling home for this holiday? And it was such an odd way to phrase it because that is the exact opposite of anything we ever do in traveling home for this holiday, because we are the ones that take on the burden of packing up 5 people in their lives and being gone for a minimum of 5 days and figuring the whole thing out. And it's not an easy, it's very different than, gosh, we have to go to a meal or maybe help make a meal. This is a big fucking event for us and always is. We had to coordinate saving vacation days to make it happen. Like, it's not a small fucking thing. So just to even hear it in that context, are we the ones being selfish by going to this thing that we have been urged to attend, urged on the phone? I got a call from my brother, which is stunning, right? I really hope that you're going to do this and not, live your life. And he's one of these people that thinks that the awareness is pushing people on the fringe too far in the direction of over
caution.
Lockdown, over caution, right? He's not crazy. He wears a mask. He looks askance at people who don't, but he also takes, a wider berth when it comes to the rest of the.
Doesn't he ride a motorcycle without a helmet?
No, always a helmet and
okay.
Always with full leather. But yeah, he also was a professional motorcycle racer for a year on the circuit. So Risk and him kind of okay.
Hand in hand.
Anyway, yeah. So blah, blah. He called specifically to say, I heard that you're going to take all these crazy measures and that you're going to do this nonsense. And I just want to say, live your life. And I'm like, gee, thanks for telling me how to live my life the way you want me to live it. But meanwhile, thank you. it was very cute. In any event, to hear it phrased, are we the ones being selfish? Are we the ones being selfish? Because here's where I come back to. For us to travel, we've already reduced, first of all, my parents, who are both over 80, are not coming. We're not going to have them at the meal. They usually host the meal. They're not going to host it. We usually stay with them. We're not staying with them. So my family is traveling to a hotel, staying in a hotel. We're going to go to my sister's house where she's going to put on the whole meal. And we'll be there, I'm sure, for 7 hours. Maybe more, if I'm being honest. These are big events, right? I'm sure we'll have windows open. My plan is for us to wear masks the whole time except when we're eating. That, to me, is identical to the risk that we take every day by having my kids go to school in a hospital-grade ventilated school system, wearing masks, their full mask requirement, and then eating lunch outside. So it's equivalent to eating dinner in a restaurant, which we have done, if I'm honest with you. We have done that. My husband is traveling at the moment. He's in a hotel. I saw him at a food truck, but at the same time, if there was only a restaurant, he would go in.
I saw him at a food truck. Is that by pictures that he posted or something?
Yes, he was excited to find this food truck. So, because he's in a place with not great food. So part of me says, that's really reasonable. That makes a lot of sense. That's getting to see people. And then part of me says, but why on earth are you bringing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you commingling vastly different exposures from 4 states, right? We've got Pennsylvania, Delaware. Well, it's 3 states now. Pennsylvania, Delaware. Nobody's in Pennsylvania anymore. It's Maryland, Delaware, and North Carolina would be commingling over a meal in a home. And then the very next day, I would do the same thing again on the other side with a smaller group, but same setup in somebody's house for a meal. And then
I'm getting hives right now.
That's what we would do. So we would go to sister's house with, quick math. It's maybe 13 people, maybe give or take. I'm not doing the math properly. The next house, fewer than 10 people. It's 5. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, right? So those are the 2 meals. That's the total exposure over the course of 2 meals. And then go to my parents' house where we've already made arrangements for takeout styrofoam, spaced out deck chairs on the deck outside with coats on. We'll say hello. We will physically see your face. We will physically say hello, and then we will drive away. And that's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. And so under the context of, are we the ones being selfish? If we don't come up for this thing, I don't think there will be, and I'm not saying this like we're the kingpins of Thanksgiving. If we don't come up for this thing, my brother won't go. He won't go and have dinner at my sister's house. So there won't be a Thanksgiving. It'll be whatever everybody's everyone will have individual families dinner. We'll have one here. My brother will probably, I don't know what he'll do. And my sister will have one, but it'll be much scaled back. My brother-in-law, who would be the host on the other side, would probably, have a turkey breast cutlet. That's it.
From Wegmans.
With his wife. If only, because we don't have Wegmans in Newark. But yeah. So I don't know. So where do you fall on that score? You still say, hell no, don't go, fuck no.
I'm going to refer you back to my previous segment where I said, wouldn't it be great if we were all honest with each other? Or what would the world be like if we were honest with each other? I'm standing by. It's not just because I don't have a family to go visit. I'm standing by everybody please just stay home. If I were running things, I would say 8-week lockdown. That's it. 8-week lockdown. Stay exactly where you are. Nobody can infect anybody. I am risk averse. I told you I did not live my life this way until I had children. I was risk. And now I am risk averse, and I will audition different restaurants for who gets to prepare, or I might just make a brisket and kugel and call it a day and throw out a vegetable and hit up the Amish market with 2 masks and get pies out the ass and just sit here and eat and then ride the Peloton. But we do have family that said it's 4 of us and 4 of you. Do you want to just combine the 4 of us and 4 of you? And there are 2 kids. Well, I told you this last week. One is on a college campus and another is in Manhattan. Those are no. Like, I love them and don't know when I'll be able to see them again, because when does a 20-something-year-old make time for aunt whoever? It just doesn't happen so much in our family. And this is an opportunity that I will possibly regret, but I'd rather regret not seeing someone than seeing someone and knowing that gathering was the cause of any contraction of anything that one of them brought, that Stuart or I brought, because I do have 2 kids who go to school twice a week. So I'm just, and school's turned into another complete nightmare, and we can discuss that next week. But I just think that if you have the opportunity and you are being cautioned not to gather, I don't understand. Okay, yes, sir. I will not gather. And my sister-in-law was so nice in the way she let me out. She said, Melissa, if you do not feel comfortable, tell me you do not feel comfortable. And I said, I do not feel comfortable. And that was it. Like, that was it. She was so gracious, because I don't like disappointing people other than my children, which I do every day. So I was very, 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 very hard for me to say, I know how desperately my husband wants to see his brother, and I'd love to see his wife and nephew. Like, I know that, but I was the dick who said no. And I guess from being a parent so long, I'm getting better at being the dick. Go ahead.
You were always pretty good. My from a parenting standpoint, you're always good at being a dick parent.
I'm the dick.
Yeah, that's not a hardship for you. If anything, it's kind of like a secret joy. So here's what I would say. Here's my deal breaker. And here's the reason that I haven't already said, yeah, fuck it, we're staying home. And the reason is this. My parents are both over 80. I haven't seen them in a year. And if we don't do this, I won't see them for the entire calendar year. And I am not okay with the possibility, no more increased today than it was any other day, but I'm not okay with the possibility that I can't remember the last time that I physically saw them, and I might never see them again. I'm not worried about the untimely passing of anyone else in my family foolishly, because it's untimely. That means it wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
That means
you can't
we're all at equal randomized lotto
right.
negative winning safety here, right? I'm not okay with.
That's a terrible lottery, by the way.
I'm not
never
okay. I'm
enter
not
that
okay
lottery.
with it. I'm just not okay with it. So because I would never be okay with the only reason that I never spoke to my parents is because I didn't want to make a 9-hour drive and stay in a hotel because it wasn't worth it for an hour sitting in their driveway. That's not okay. So the rest of it is gravy. And I'll figure out a way to, even if I end up, it's not going to be this, but even if I end up not going to the meal and just do driveway visits for everybody else, I'm not okay with 9 hours or 18 hours as the difference between seeing family and not. There's a way to do it safely. You don't have to be inside, maskless, eating turkey for 7 hours. You don't have to do that. So there's ways to make it happen. If you needed to see your sister-in-law, you could make this happen any weekend USA, and so could I for Thanksgiving. But this is really the only one where people feel like we'd be comfortable even making it. I was specifically told, do not come for the 80th birthday. I don't want you here.
I
won't
remember.
let you in the house. Yeah, and it was not a great scene. It was not a great scene. And I'm not going to do a fucking Zoom for this shit. I mean, it's a live concert, and listening to the record isn't the same fucking thing. So for me, even if it means, this for me is the difference in potential outcomes of knocking on the glass to an unconscious person in the hospital versus looking through the glass from the front porch to the family room and having a conversation. I'm going to fucking take that conversation. And if it means I was inconvenienced for a weekend, so be it. And my kids can, do the same.
Well, it's not a matter of inconvenience for the weekend. It's a matter of...
That's the only reason I'm going. I have already given up on all the other tradition of this holiday is already gone. So it's about the visit. So I'm making a visit happen. It's not about the meal. So therefore, it's not about sharing a meal inside. And I feel like that, sadly, is still on the fucking table as a variable, right? Seeing people physically is the thing I'm not willing to give up in this way for this one weekend that I will stick to. And then the rest of it, that I'm willing to make the risk for. I'm not making a risk because I got to get my turkey leg. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Nobody's saying that. They're saying gathering, just by way of, gathering is exposure that you just don't need, that isn't necessary. And yeah, it absolutely fucking sucks that your parents are 80 and that you're dealing with not having seen them in a year, and that's hard. But
I
it's
got
the
little
same
kids,
way.
man. I told you he's 9-12. So, I mean, they're
But
small.
It's the same way I say to my kids, this year is the year of the pivot. This year is the year of it fucking sucks that you're never going to have a prom, that you're not probably going to have graduation, that you're not going to have all of these things that are once in a lifetime. I told you,
we've already lived through all that shit, though. So it's
right, but now we're moving on to the next kid. I got 2 kids that are not going to have it. I've got 2 kids that can't tour a college campus and be air quote normal or have a typical anything experience. So
that'll happen. That'll happen before the end of the year, and they'll graduate, and he'll graduate normally.
Guaranteed. And I promise you, by the end of the year, it won't be normal. But it's just the way, and it's teaching us all, and
wearing a mask and having a graduation is normal as far as I'm concerned. That's comparatively,
and I hope that's what it is.
To not even get to have, it's at that point, if we can't figure that shit out, come on.
P.S.
I say that hopefully. I don't say that like I know and you don't. I'm saying with the full weight of I know this without evidence. I know this will happen.
I love your I know this without evidence. I do want to tell you that vaccinations, I could talk to you all day. Vaccinations will be available, and I'm going to encourage anyone who gets the opportunity to take it. The reason other vaccines were rejected by people of, I don't know, weird intelligence, like I know things. I don't mean alternate intelligence. I don't know the right word. Is because
stupid.
Well, when it comes to something like the flu shot, what they are doing is either injecting you with a live or dead virus. That is not what this vaccine is. It is neither a live or dead virus that they're injecting you with. It has nothing to do with injecting you with that. So it's the objection doesn't equate at all. So if you're objecting because it's new and I don't know, maybe it's new and you don't know and it's still not going to kill you, or it's still not going to give you the virus. So if that's your objection, open up a fucking newspaper and read something, because that is not the basis for this. And if you get the opportunity, I'm going to recommend, it's 2 shots, by the way. It's not at the same.
There's 2 different vaccines that are showing such promise that they're expected to hit the market at the same time. The one that requires a follow-up is 90+% effective, but you also have to have 2 shots 6 weeks apart, and it has to be stored at something like
100 degrees
below 0.
Right,
so
Fahrenheit, right.
That's very unrealistic to roll out given our current situation. The other one has a closer to 60 or 70% viability rate, which is in the realm of most vaccines.
Correct.
You get your 1 shot, you're done. You off to town.
Kind of still want the 2 shot guy. I kind of still want
yeah,
that guy.
but that's
right.
You have to be,
So
connected.
Open your mind and take everything you know about other vaccines you've learned about and object to and shove them up your ass just for now, and you can poop them out later and talk to other people about them. But I understand what you're saying, Amy. I just don't feel the risk of exposure for anyone, for myself, for my kids, for my family is worth that to me. If it comes down to it, have Thanksgiving. You seem to think June 4th of graduation for us will be typical, and June 4th is now Thanksgiving, if that's what you need to do. And it gets worse with Christmas, because Christmas is actually based around a religious holiday as opposed to
That's off the table. That's another thing. That's completely off the table. This would be our one visit. We would do it this one time and be done. So the risk rates are only going to go up as the cold days march on. So that's it. This is it for the whole year.
Dear listener, what are your plans for the holidays? We are very curious. And do you hate me for finally coming out with an opinion that's not as popular as...
Do you hate me?
I'm your wife.
Does she care?
Let us know by writing us brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Find us on the socials. Facebook, actually, more than just Brilliant Observations, has a mini group that you can join. It's Brill Ob Squad. Let us know your thoughts on this and all of our topics. And we are also on Instagram. We are also #able on Peloton. Listen Brilliant and Brill Ob Squad. Please reach out, touch someone through glass. Not in person.
Yep.
Let us know.
Hey, find some live music somewhere or recorded music that's oftentimes better than live when you're not standing there to experience it. Make some music. Make someone happy. Go and do it. Live, love, be kind. And put on your fucking mask and no singing for the part.
Yeah, with all that naked fruit. That's fucked up. Yep. I'm going to shave my pears. Thanks for listening. We love you.
Bye.